Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and if you hear lawnmowers, blowers, weed eaters, that is because there's yard work going on outside, and we power through it on this channel. Now, if you want to join the private group, go to DAIXRP.com to join through the Patreon, or click this little join button below any of my YouTube videos, and you can join there. Today's going to be I've got a lot of stuff, so we'll just do half of it in there. But I want to keep reminding you, because this is a part of my exit strategy, is my Caleb and Brown account. They are my affiliate partner. If you want to go open a Caleb and Brown account and you want to have institutional custody and you want to have an actual person you can speak with about buying, selling, or otherwise, Caleb and Brown's the place to do it. Go to xrpwealth589.com and it'll forward you to my page here, and just click the sign up today button. I wanted to cover some of this because at XRP Las Vegas, Uphold's going to be there. They want to hear from you. We're heading to XRP Vegas, hosting an AMA panel. And here's the best part. You shape the conversation. Drop your biggest XRP and Uphold questions below. If you're lucky, we'll answer them live on stage. You can do that. Also wanted to remind you of some events. There's 2 after parties that I'm aware of. Well, there's 3 after parties. One is the XRP Las Vegas after party, which will be at the MGM Grand. But there's 2 other satellite after parties I was going to make you aware of that may go later into the night. I can't remember how long the MGM one goes. But the EZA guys are doing a Shark Tank pitch for companies that are building on the XRP ledger, and they have an opportunity. Right, let me see, right here, there's going to be $25,000 in prize money. It says everyone shortlisted to pitch will receive a free XRP Las Vegas ticket. All EZA community members are eligible for 25% discount. And then here's a couple of the after parties. This one's hosted by Sigma. They're doing theirs on Friday, May 30th, 8 to 11 p.m. Pacific time. That's way past my bedtime. They're going to do that at the Hard Rock Live is where that's going to be. And then here's another one that's being done by Crypto for Life, XRP Las Vegas meetup. This one is going to be, where's it going to be? Club Ego is the name of the place they're doing that one. And a lot of the XRP influencers will be there. Paul Barron will be there. He'll be one of them. So if you want to go to XRP Las Vegas, go to xrplasvegas.com. I was told this morning that the VIP tickets are almost sold out. So if you're wanting to get the VIP ticket, you're going to want to hurry up on that one. Market's still boring. 209 XRP. We'll move along. I want you to see this, especially the part at the end. This is the Treasury Secretary.
What I've been talking about is reprivatizing the economy. So on one side, we're going to be bringing down government spending, which has been crowding out the private sector. We're also going to be shedding excess labor on the government side. Then on the other side, we have a substantial financial deregulatory agenda coming. We put a lot of new regulators in place so the private sector can re-leverage. And
now I want you to listen to this last part, because this is significant.
We're putting a special focus on community banks, small regional banks, which we're very near what I would call an extinction event in the next 4 or 5 years. So the idea is to get them lending again too.
Okay, so their focus is on community banks. Listen to this clip. I got 2 clips from you. I want you to hear the first part of Brad Gart. This is an old interview. Listen to what he says about banks.
Settlement between banks. So today, if Morgan wanted to send the $10,000 to London right now, the fastest way for her to do that is to drive to Newark or JFK and fly it there. Our view is, in a world of the internet, you can stream video from the space station. You should be able to do real-time settlement between banks, and we sell a technology to banks to do that.
And the banks are getting on board with this because they know there's a lot of paper pushing and also a lot of money attached to those settlements.
For sure. So we have over 100 banks working with Ripple today around the world. I think the vast majority of banks, like 99.9% of banks, actually are paying other banks, the kind of the
community banks,
global money center banks like JP Morgan or Citibank, to make those settlements. So a lot of the banks are very excited about democratizing how these global payments flow.
That's an interesting coincidence. Here's another clip.
Banking community, there's a few banks that kind of sit on the top of the entire global payments infrastructure. And all the other banks end up paying them to help settle the global liquidity that's required for commerce, for small businesses, for retail. And across the board, it's kind of amazing that we still live in a world where to send money to London today, the fastest thing for you or I to do would be to drive to, well, for you, for SFO, for me here in New York, to JFK or Newark, and fly the money to London.
Almost as if it was part of the plan. Look at this from the CEO of Coinbase. Congress has a real opportunity this week to advance stablecoin market structure legislation. We strongly support the Senate starting debate on the Genius Act, and we need 60 votes to get there. We also welcome House efforts to build on FIT 21's momentum. Both chambers need to act now if we hope to pass comprehensive legislation into law before August. Folks, it's going to be an interesting couple of months. Word on the street is that Circle's IPO roadshow is not as hot as expected. Does their valuation get cut from $5 billion? And if so, does this give potential acquirers a chance to buy Circle at a discount? My gut tells me we haven't heard the last of the possible Ripple acquisition of Circle. We shall see. Look at this. Kyrgyzstan's gold-backed dollar-pegged stablecoin USDKG will launch in Q3, backed by $500 million in gold with plans to expand reserves to $2 billion. That sounds like some Bitcoin competition to me. M2 global money supply, May 5th, the crypto ride begins. They're showing you, this is M2 crystal ball. They're basically, there's a lot of posts about this where they're showing the M2 money supply increasing. Here's another one. Global liquidity is growing as we speak, and this can only mean one thing. Bitcoin, crypto will follow, not just Bitcoin. And they're showing you the liquidity there. Okay, this is interesting because when you hear, remember, we just covered DTCC. They list 9 blockchains that they're going to use to tokenize, that will be involved in tokenizing all the money.
Everyone's aware, there won't be one blockchain. There can't be one blockchain. No matter how passionate you are about your favorite layer one, there can't be one. If there's only one, then there will be no innovation because there's no breaking points. The barrier of entry is too high. And basically you'll have the malaise that you have in traditional financial systems, just to have it in blockchain form. So there'll be many, and they'll continue to proliferate in this world. The real question, and the other truth is, you cannot scale a decentralized blockchain, theoretically impossible, that maintains each of the 3 balance points for a blockchain to 1 million transactions per second, really the amount that we would need to cover global scale financial transactions. You can't do it. So there can't be one. What that means is methods to connect chains together and to actually have a chain of chains is actually the essential component in this new world. And there's good solutions out there in order to connect chains. So I can have one blockchain that is completely public. I can stand up another blockchain, a layer 2 blockchain. I can proof its activity down to the lower chain. And now I've just doubled the scale of that chain. I can do that a layer above and a layer above, or layers outward, horizontally or vertically, to get to that point. But what that means is I have many chains. Now those chains may be public, they may be private. There are good reasons why chains should be private. Transaction privacy matters. Let's say I want to run a dark pool. That's a useful thing in the markets. And so you do want to keep your transactions private. You don't want people to front run every time you move this far of value. It means you're about to do that trade. So there is a need for transaction privacy in the end. And that's a form of multiple chains, at the very least, if it's not multiple chains. So we're working on that, on specifically hyperscale. We want a ledger of ledger methodology that allows us to get to 1 million transactions per second. We're looking to demonstrate this to the world sometime over the next year. We think it's necessary, and it's also quite possible. We're working on app chains. So effectively, a app chain that DTCC is what's known as a CSD, a Central Securities Depository. There's only one in the US. In other jurisdictions, there are multiple CSDs. We're working on a CSD app chain. That is basically collateral management, margin accounts, clearing operations, etc., all automated through smart contracts. And you move the value from your favorite chain or your favorite traditional ledger to the app chain, conduct those transactions, and move it back. That's a radical new way to address core CSD operations, core security.
What he's talking about is interoperability. And what did Chris Larson say before anybody said it? He said, when you finally get interoperability, you'll have the Cambrian explosion. And we haven't seen the Cambrian explosion since we got into this. And that's what's coming. I wanted to cover this. No, not that. Not that. I wanted to cover this before we go into the group. So this clown right here is Rand Nooner. This guy has been one of the main people in the anti-Ripple, anti-XRP marketing machine. And make no mistake, it is a marketing machine. I believe a coordinated marketing machine for the last decade. Same guy who pretends like he just doesn't get XRP, pumps meme coins like it's his job every day. Like ridiculous stuff. I consider guys like this to be the worst of the worst. But anyway, it's going to be fun watching him firmly put on the wrong side of history. And this guy that he's interviewing, he didn't see it coming.
We know it's going up. What are we buying?
Well,
Bitcoin,
obviously. I mean, I've been saying this for a long time. You know this. I've been on your show saying this. When the ETFs came out for Bitcoin, I basically was like, Bitcoin dominance is going to continue to go higher for a very long time because I think a lot of people in crypto, especially retail crypto traders, don't understand the magnitude of institutional flows, okay? As these institutional flows come in, they're not going to Ethereum because people can't understand what Ethereum is. It goes into Bitcoin. And as more and more of those flows go into Bitcoin, you have to be overweight Bitcoin, period. Now,
Bitcoin.
Yeah, so Bitcoin, we're short ETH. I see no reason to own it. We have it as a hedge in our portfolio. Fundamentally, I've been saying this for years now, there is no reason to own the asset. The technology itself was like the BlackBerry of smart contract platforms. There's better L1s out there. Obviously, I'm a Solana bull, but there's better L1s out there that bring real utility and use cases for mass adoption versus Ethereum.
All right, what else?
I like Solana, of course. Fundamentals are crushing it. They are 2/3 of all blockchain activity across every network, even in the slowdown that we've had over the past few months.
What else?
And I do think, believe it or not, I can't believe I'm admitting this, I think Ripple is actually a good trade. I know.
XRP.
Now listen, you ask me as a trader or an investor, where do I think there's upside?
Now remember, Rand Nooner pumped Luna. I mean, this guy's a clown. But he has acted like, and I do mean acted like he doesn't understand XRP.
Part of the reason is, remember, I run a fund. Ripple is one of the most liquid assets out there.
I can't believe what I've just heard, but you heard it from the man.
Yeah, but you believed Luna.
Joe, it's so good to see you, brother.
Great to see you.
Okay, we're going to go into DAI XRP, a lot more to cover. And go to DAIXRP.com for the Patreon or click the join button right below this video, any of my YouTube videos. I'm a digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Here we go.